So, once you have fully understood this dilemma, what should you really do? What you should do is make sure you are never in this dilemma. I know of two ways to do that. One is don't have any friends. That's the method implicitly suggested by the proprietary software developers. The other method is reject proprietary software. If you don't have the program, you don't have to worry what you will do if your friend asks for a copy from you. That is my method. If someone offers me an attractive, convenient program on the condition I promise not to share it with other people, I say no. I say my conscience will not allow me to accept such a condition. And that's what you should say too. And you should also reject the propaganda terms that the proprietary software developers use to demonize the act of cooperation. Terms like pirate. When they compare people who share software with pirates, what are they really saying? They're saying that helping your neighbor is the moral equivalent of attacking a ship. Morally speaking, nothing could be more wrong than that, because attacking ships is very bad, but helping your friends and your neighbors is good. So don't call it piracy. When they call it piracy, say no. When people ask me, what do I think of piracy? I say attacking ships is very bad. And when they ask me, what do I think of software piracy or music piracy, I say, as far as I know, pirates don't attack using computers or by playing musical instruments badly. They use arms. Don't fall into the trap of repeating the enemy's propaganda. So that's the reason for freedom 2, the freedom to help your neighbor, the freedom to redistribute exact copies of the program when you wish. Freedom 0, the freedom to run the program as you wish, is essential for a different reason, so you can control your computing. It may be surprising, but there are proprietary programs that restrict even how people, the authorized users, use the authorized copies. And that's obviously not having control of your computing. So freedom 0 is essential. But it's not enough, because that just means you can either do or not do whatever the code of the program is set up to permit. And it's the developer who decides that. So the developer still controls you, not through the license, but instead through the code of the program, but it comes to the same thing. So in order to control your computing, you also need freedom 1, which is the freedom to study the source code and then change it to make the program do what you wish. This way you decide what your computing is going to be, instead of letting the developer decide and impose his decisions on you. Now, if you use a program without freedom 1, you can't even tell what it's doing. Many of these programs have malicious features to do things like spy on the user, restrict the user, even attack the user. One proprietary program you may have heard of that does all 3 is called Microsoft Windows. We know of features to spy on the user. We know of digital restrictions management, or DRM, features designed to restrict users, and we know of a backdoor that enables Microsoft to attack the user. In fact, this backdoor is so gaping that Microsoft has total control over the user, because Microsoft can forcibly change the software at any time without asking the user's permission. So that user may think he controls his computer, but really Microsoft has total power. But please don't think that Microsoft is uniquely evil and only Microsoft would do this. In fact, Mac OS X is pretty much the same. We know of features to restrict the user, digital restrictions management, and there's a backdoor which allows Apple to forcibly change the software in any way at any time without asking the user's permission. So it's just as bad. There's nothing to choose from between them. And this appears to be the natural end point of proprietary software. Many cell phones are set up the same way. There's a company that can change the software whenever it wishes, and the user who supposedly owns the cell phone has nothing to say about it. What is happening here is proprietary software is a system that gives the developer unjust power over the users. Now, when someone greedy has unjust power over others, what's he going to do with this power? He's going to use it to try to get more power, more and more, until he has total power. And that's what they've done. Several different companies in parallel. So this is what proprietary software tends to lead to. Total power, not just power that they shouldn't have. Now, I won't claim that all the developers of proprietary software put in malicious features. I suppose some do and some don't. But when the program doesn't give you freedom number one, there's no way to tell if it has malicious features in general. Once in a while we discover some. But there are many programs in which we don't know of any malicious features. But maybe they have them, or maybe they don't. We can't identify among all the programs without Freedom 1, we can't identify any that certainly have no malicious features, because there's no way to check. But I presume there are some. The problem is you never know if the program you're using is one of them. But even though we can't identify those programs, I can make a statement about them all. Their developers are human, so they make mistakes. And the code of those programs has bugs. And the user of a program without Freedom 1 is just as helpless facing an accidental bug as facing an intentional malicious feature. If you use a program without Freedom 1, you are a prisoner of the software you use.